So real quick, this is a quick video to show off the void feature on these play slips. These are for the Florida Fantasy 5. You can see the Fantasy 5 play slip there. So what I'm going to show off is the void. If you look closely, below the numbers it has a void box. So what happens is I use the void box because on certain drawings I don't expect a particular combination to be played. So for example, yesterday you had 35 played in the last position, right? So it is highly unlikely that it will come back the next day within the same position, even though possible, but most of the time it does not come back in the same position. So I would void those from the tickets that I normally play. And so that is just one particular reason why you could, void a ticket. There are several patterns that you could look for within each combination that might indicate that it wouldn't repeat that pattern on the next drawing based on the nature of randomness. If something is random, one thing that we could actually count on is that it will do something different. So in a sense, you actually know what the lottery will do on the next drawing, and that is one feature of the lottery that you can use against it, because you know that it is likely to do something different on the next drawing. And one particular aspect or one particular pattern that I look for is repeating numbers in the same position. It is highly unlikely that it repeats numbers in the same position, even though possible. Sometimes it does that, but it does that less often than it doesn't repeat. Okay, so another thing that you could use to void out certain combinations for the next upcoming drawing is if, let's say, one ticket combination has a certain total, it is highly unlikely that it will play another ticket the next day that has the same total. And what I mean by total is for each drawing you add up all the 5 balls to get the total. It most likely will play a different total the next drawing. Again, even though it's possible, it could happen, but it's highly unlikely. So what we try to do is go with things that are more likely to happen to have the best odds in our favor and increase our odds and give us more chances of winning. So I tend to void out some of those that I don't expect to play on the next draw, and what that does is give me an opportunity to play more tickets, use the cash that I would put on those tickets that aren't likely to come back. I put that on another line that is more likely to come up. So there are several other patterns, like I say. There's an odd even sequence, and I'll make upcoming videos on these. Whenever a drawing is done, it has what is called an odd even sequence, right? So let's say, for example, let's say I think I'll give an example of one of these play slips. 7, 11, 14, 34 and 30 are drawn. So that odd even sequence is 7 is an odd, and 11 is an odd, 14 is an even. So it has an odd even sequence, right? So what happens on the next drawing, it is unlikely that it will play another ticket with the same odd even sequence. All right, so like I said, there are several patterns that it does not repeat on the next drawing, so I will void those if they're in my group of numbers that I normally play. So if you have any questions on this little strategy using the void box, you could leave a question below, and I'll definitely answer. And I will make subsequent videos on all the patterns that you can look for to void that aren't likely to come back on the next drawing. All right, thanks for watching.